Welcome, everybody, to the Untitled Underqualified Podcast, Episode 10. Today is January 21st, 2021. You're back with the unscripted, no outline, really, what the hell are we doing making a podcast, people? We got at the bottom of your screen again, just much like last week, you got Finn. You can find him on Twitter, @skidap. And I will skip me for now. We are joined today by Around the Corn podcast founder Ryan Stivers. What's up, Ryan? How you doing?
The first person that's ever said my name correctly on the first go, so that's like wildly impressive that just like without any hesitation you nailed it that quick. But I'm proud of that. I'm excited to be on here. I heard that I got like 5 minutes to do just like any kind of stand-up I want to do, so I just wrote down a bunch of jokes in my phone earlier, so I'll be ready for something a little bit later.
What do you want to do? You want to do it now, or how you doing?
I'll save that for later once everybody's like warmed up and prepared for all that. I've never done this show before, so I'm very excited to see how this goes. I'd love to become a recurring guest.
It's honestly, every time it seems like for us too, it's like, this is a new show. We've never done this before because it's always different. It's always very, very different from every week. First off,
go ahead, buddy.
I apologize for missing our 9:30 start time. I have only been in Ames for about less than 30 minutes. I just traveled from my hometown and was really trying to rush to get here. I had everything planned. We were, I was going to be able to make it by 8, but then more stuff just kind of kept popping up. And so I apologize for staying up or keeping us a little bit later than I think, one, normally, and two, when do the mustache rides kick off? Well, I think, Finn will have a problem with giving mustache rides. Thank you for accepting the apology, Joey. You so much. Finn, I haven't asked you yet. How are you doing today? And how pissed off were you? How pissed off were you at me?
Honestly, man, today's just been kind of a ride of rage. It's been wild. It's been absolutely wild following all the garbage that's happening in Washington, D.C. And then you decide to call me at 5:30 while I'm napping.
Oh, that's my bad.
Dude, I was dead asleep. And then suddenly I feel my phone buzzing on my face. I'm like, what? I expect to see my girlfriend's name. No, I see Jason. I'm like, he's either dying or we're not going to do the show tonight.
And the answer, what was the answer to that question then? Neither.
Honestly, man, I wish you were dead.
Sometimes I wish so too.
At least then we'd have a real excuse to be late.
That'd be a fun tweet to send out. It's like, so no show tonight. Jason died.
Jason just got fucking offed. We don't know.
He was in a rollover accident on I-80 or something like that. It would have been. But yeah, this frappe that I have, normally you see me with water, but it's been a long day. I'm just trying to not chug through, but I can't even English right. Just whatever, go get through to the show and with enough energy and stuff to do it, because over the past 2 weeks I've probably driven like 750 miles, which isn't much for some people, but in 2 weeks I haven't done something like that in a very long time. So,
whoa.
But okay, so
I don't think I took that many steps today.
Well, you guys combine you two combine for 250 miles just walking, and then that way we can all sing along. I've walked 500 miles and I'll walk 500 more. Just make sure we don't
do any of that.
Just make sure we don't get DMCA strike for that. So
definitely not. Hard pass.
Yep. So Ryan, Around the Corn podcast. For anybody that doesn't know what that is, give us a brief synopsis and basically how do we access your podcast and just anything in general about it.
Yeah. So the whole thing kind of started just from how I guess I came up kind of on Iowa State Twitter, and just kind of how I kind of gained some popularity and steam and all that was just by talking a lot of shit about Iowa fans, which I've tried to tone back this year. We're going with the policy of new year, new us. It was the title of our episode coming out of the gate in 2021. I'm trying to be less combative on Twitter because I'm trying to change our image a little bit. We've had some mishaps here in the last few months where people think we're very anti-Iowa. So I feel like I'm like doing a PR tour because now this is the second podcast I've been on. I've been like, hey, new me, guys. Like, I'm not here talking shit anymore. Like, I'm trying to fix some things. Yeah, our show, unfortunately, we do release it kind of sporadically. It does stink because with all the other things that we have going on, most of us work full-time jobs as well, and everybody's just kind of volunteering and, like, doing this just for fun, you know. I think it's kind of cool that, lucky for me and everybody else, that we've all had.
Oh, no, did he freeze?
Oh, he froze.
Did he freeze?
No.
Oh.
So,
Ryan's world famous internet.
He just came back.
Yeah.
He just came back. Briefly
sorry.
go back.
If that, it'll happen.
Go back about a paragraph because we did miss what you were saying.
You're good. Yeah, my internet might do that sometimes. Unfortunately. So
I think you left off on what was it, full time? Just doing it for fun, and I think that's where you left off.
I mean, what we've been lucky with is just like most of us, like we all work full-time jobs, but like, you know, we kind of just give in what we can to it, and you know, it's given a lot of people the opportunity to talk to people they wouldn't have otherwise. You know, like one of our most popular episodes was with Tyrese, and then Dylan Sainer, and then a week ago Ryan Kriener. Like, I feel like I've been able to kind of give people an opportunity just because of how lucky I've gotten in my life, kind of the connections that I've made and the people that I've gotten to know, and kind of when I'm able to like get somebody like that on the show, or even when I'm able to kind of just like, you know, get a scoop and get our name out there. You know, I've been very fortunate with some of the friends that I made and the contacts that I have now. So that's been kind of cool, honestly. Like there's been screenshots of our stuff popping up on a bunch of different blogs, like Confirming News, and being like, hey, what do these guys know? How's this? So it's kind of cool to see that come to fruition.
Finn.
As Finn knows.
Yeah, you look like you're about to say something.
Yeah, you know you wanted to say something there.
Yeah, the wildest thing was tweeting out as per Ryan Stivers, and then getting quote tweeted by an affiliate of a major news outlet, and I was like, if I didn't have the notification pop up on my phone, I wouldn't have believed it for a second.
Oh yeah, I guess we probably should mention that too, that Finn does run like our main Twitter account, that there are connections here between the two of us.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that. I did forget to mention that you founded Around the Corn, and Finn is actually a part of Around the Corn. And I was actually thinking, I was thinking maybe I was in Colfax, just passing through Colfax because I was traveling from eastern Iowa all the way here to central Iowa. I was passing through, like, what am I going to open the show with? And I was just thinking, we have Ryan Stivers on here. And then I was going to be like, and now everybody's going to attack our podcast, because it just seems like, I don't know what it is. Like, why? I see on Twitter that people just love to attack the Around the Corn guys. And it's always just like, oh, like, get your posse here or whatever at that. And like, fill me in, because I'm like r/out of the loop, and two, why the hate? Like, why do you guys? Why is it you guys? And is it just Hawkeye fans? Because I noticed that a majority of it is Hawkeye fans, but I don't know. Is it always Hawkeye fans, or how did this occur? How did this happen?
I know he froze.
Honestly, it has a lot to do with the fact that it stems a lot from me than anything. It's generally something because of the fact that, like, I became very, quote unquote, kind of infamous with a lot of the Hawkeye guys, to the point where they grew very tired of my shtick of being very, and like, almost, I don't know, purposely dickish. So I think people definitely find that as a way to do a job of changing that either. I'll say that 100%.
My initial thoughts.
Finn definitely knows.
My initial thoughts when I saw those, like, I just thought it was, oh, this guy isn't being rude. He's just trying to be a troll. He's trying to bait people, and it worked. That was I didn't think you were actually, trying to be heinous or serious about things. I thought it was really just this attempt to bait people, because the way Twitter is now, it's like it's easy to bait people. I mean, just looking at what happened last night, with I saw
Squires?
Him, but I'm thinking him replying to something. I saw late last night, a tweet that was, so I follow some Hawkeye fans and on Twitter, and they're not bad people. I don't think Hawkeye fans are bad people at all. There are some bad apples, just like in any fan base. So you could, like, Nebraska has some bad apples, and Iowa State has some bad apples. Like, it's just a part of every fan base. But I was looking, and Jordan Bohannon, if anybody who's watching doesn't know who Jordan Bohannon is, somebody please help me, because I really don't know what he does. I know he's a basketball player, but I don't know.
He gets hip surgery and stands around the 3-point line. Aside from that, I honestly haven't figured it out.
He became kind of an enemy of the podcast indirectly. It wasn't even purposeful. It all started with the whole saga came down to him trolling a good friend of mine, and this person said, like, all right, I'll admit that I was a really good basketball team or whatever if you come on the show. Did what Bohannon asked. Bohannon then flaked on us and, like, kept ducking us, wouldn't respond to us. We're like, look, man, you're the one who said it. Like, can we schedule this or whatever? So we wanted to get it because we kind of were trying to get rid of the Iowa, like, anti-Iowa image. And so we kept trying. He wouldn't respond. Finally, we just had enough of it. We're like, fuck it, Tyrese is coming on. Like, we got a real point guard now. And then after that, all hell kind of broke loose.
I remember.
He said a real point guard came on. He got mad, and then
Yeah, I remember he quote tweeted somebody from around the corner. I don't remember what it was, but and it was just, I remember watching this all unfold. And, like, this is getting ugly, and then more people started joining in. Hawkeye fans, Iowa State fans, people from around the corn, and I'm not going to speak for you guys because I'm not a part of around the corn, and quite frankly, I don't think I belong in around the corn because my sports knowledge is not up to where everybody else is in around the corn. But just watching this unfold, I'm just thinking, like, what the hell is going on? Because, like, why is everybody getting so mad? Like, just everybody in this circle was getting mad. Like, people in around the corn were getting mad. Hawkeye fans were getting mad. Iowa State fans were getting mad.
Bohannon was the maddest.
Yeah, I feel like it started with, he quote tweeted. There was one quote tweet I remember, and then all hell broke loose after that. But I don't remember what exactly it was.
I think it probably was the one where I think Dylan made some remark, and then he said something about Dylan's mom being. He implied that Dylan's mom was a whore, essentially. And from that point on, it was just like, all right.
Bohannon said that?
I feel like
the peak of comedy. That's 90% of his jokes. I'm not kidding.
Okay, so go ahead.
So Jordan Bohannon, I watched your podcast. I watched 2 episodes, believe it or not. I watched the episode with that one guy that thinks that Iowa State football is really bad because he's a basketball analyst. Don't remember his name. Really don't care to. He sounds so much better than you, first of all. And then I watched the episode with Dan. How do you say his last name? Dan Dakich? Dakich. Okay. Yeah, I watched the episode with Dan Dakich. Again, he's so much better than you. Jordan, you are not charming. You have zero humor. Your beard very clearly has Just for Men all over it. And the worst part is your co-host carries you so hard. I like that guy. That guy is so funny compared to you.
I'm just gonna.
And my shoes make him look bland.
I'm gonna put out a quick disclaimer. The views of Finn do not reflect the views of the overall podcast. So, like, I have my own opinions and views, and he has his own opinions and views. But it isn't like a collective group of opinion show. Like this show, we are two individuals.
Can I put a pin in that real quick because I have a thought on that?
Go ahead.
I do, because there have been multiple times where I've said something or I've made a joke or whatever, and then they try to be like, well, all those guys are the same way, they're all the same person, they all do this, blah blah blah. It's like, no, it's definitely not. There are a myriad of personalities that I happen to enjoy working with. There is a multitude of people who will text me or tweet at me or whatever and be like, you shouldn't have said that, that I am a part of. So like, I do not speak. That's the thing that pisses me off, is like everybody wants to be like, you speak for them, this is your thing, you're the one in charge. I'm like, no, nobody speaks for any of us. Whatever any one person says does not mean that it speaks for all of us. It drives me fucking nuts when people try to like shit and be like, you speak for them. I'm like, no, I do not.
That's one thing I have noticed. It's like, where has Ryan said this, or where has Austin said this, or where has like just each individual member of it. It always seems like it's you and Dylan get attacked the most, and I really don't appreciate what people how Dylan has an unfortunate last name. He can't help it. But people really need to stop referring to him as that. I'm not even going to say it because, one, I don't think it's Twitch friendly. Two, I don't feel comfortable saying it. But
right.
Dylan has I've seen a lot of his tweets saying, please refer to me by my first name rather than just my last name. Because it's I feel like it's an attack at him. That's the problem. People don't like on Twitter and with your, I'm going to call it a mob because you have a mob, it seems like, against Around the Corn. People don't understand that if you disagree, attack the take, not the person.
Right.
So, and I only have like 30 followers on Twitter. Nobody really knows me, but at least I understand that. And
right.
It's and I don't know, it bothers me. And I know Finn and I did an episode of this before. We talked about how like Twitter, I don't know if it's a backlog or if we did an actual live episode.
Yeah, I don't remember at all.
It's because we've recorded so many episodes. We have probably like 20 episodes. So
I think so.
We have like 10 live episodes and then like another 10 backlog or something. So it's
shit. That reminds me, we need to record.
Oh, we do need to do one. But so I'm not trying. I'm just trying to just wrap my head around the thinking around the mob, and because I'm like a bystander because I follow Around the Corn on Twitter, I follow Finn, and now I follow you, and I follow I think various members of Around the Corn because
Wait, you just followed Ryan?
Well, yeah, I just followed Ryan, and I followed him because he followed me, like It's not like a whole like, oh, I'm not going to follow you until you follow me first. It wasn't really like that. I don't pay attention to Twitter enough to like actually hit the follow button. And dude, I see him like randomly pop up sometimes through like mutual people that have liked his tweets. Yeah, that shows up on my feed. I don't have anything against like, and I think there's only one person on Twitter I have like, please delete your account. And I think we can all infer who it is. He's got a famous movie star from the 90s and SNL cast member as profile picture.
I've got a few. He just unblocked me, believe it or not.
I didn't know you were blocked.
Yeah, he blocked me after that night. And dude, I've been going for the throat all day, like for the past day. Like the guy.
There's what drives me nuts about him, and like I'm just doing this as across the building. If you are actually like trying to be like, and I'm saying this as across the building, if you're trying to be like a troll, that's what your ultimate thing is. Like you're like, that's my brand, that's what I want to be. You can't do it and be so obvious about it, because then it just is like either A, you become this like super like misogynistic asshole piece of shit, kind of like what the guy we're talking about is. Or you just like become so jaded and so mean, like all your tweets are like unreadable. To be an effective like person when it comes to stuff like that, the people that you're doing it to cannot even realize that's what's happening. And I think that's what pissed a lot of people off about me for the longest time, was like, he's so serious. This is like, these are his takes. He stands by this, blah, blah. It's like, if you cannot figure out after the 1,000th time that this is fucking bait, I can't help you. Like I can't explain it any clearer. I can't because then it just ruins the joke. And like the big thing with a bunch of the Hawk fans would always be like, he tweets something stupid, gets called out on it, backpedals and says it's a joke. It's like, it was a fucking joke from the start, guys. Like that was the whole point of this. Like I don't know if sarcasm and like Larry David and Curb never made it to Iowa City, and they're just kind of like, we don't really know how to read this. So like I just feel like my tweets are always read with a very malicious voice instead of like the very droll kind of like boring like sarcastic sense of humor that I have.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I still remember my favorite moment was when you tweeted something about like if only Luka Garza was a good size for basketball. Like you called him short. It was just the most like one-off, stupid, just shitty joke. You got railed. They were coming after you. They were like, "You're so stupid. You should do your research. He's 6'11", and I'm like, he's their center. Ryan isn't that stupid. He's the center.
I don't know. I always try to look for the super easy joke that looks like it's serious. Like, I don't remember what it was I said earlier today. About like, are the Hawkeyes losing their grasp on their ability to say that they only recruit Iowa guys? People are asking. And like in my mentions, they're like, you're the only one saying this. This is not true. It's like, yeah, no shit. People are asking. I'm people, you idiots. I'm the one saying, I know that. I'm very self-aware about this. Like, that's the fucking point. The point is that you show up, you tweet something stupid at me, and then guess what? I win. I win every fucking time. That's the best part.
You baited them. That you have, and that's what I remember. I remember the very first tweet that Around the Corn interacted with me was Finn had it was the stupid argument about Big 12 doesn't play defense kind of thing.
Well, yeah.
And he either quote tweeted or commented on this person's tweet. I don't remember her name, but she's like I think she does stuff with like the SEC network or something like that. I'm not entirely sure.
Casey Smith.
Yeah, her.
Casey Smith.
Yeah,
the Casey Smith.
Yeah, it was a clear and obvious like joke troll tweet from Finn. Like it, even if I didn't know him, even if I didn't know him personally, I'm like, you can't like not read this and just think, like there's no way you can't think it's not a joke. And then he successfully baited her. She has like 200,000 followers or something like that, and you had at the time like, I don't know, 60.
Dude, I had less than 50 followers at the time.
Yeah, and so and that's when I was like, this is a win for Finn because he was able to bait out this like large verified Twitter personality.
Like 30,000 impressions.
Yeah,
I was stoked.
And I was like, this is a win for them. And that's when Around the Corn was like the first interaction of like, oh my God, like I didn't know that somebody actually from Around the Corn saw this stuff.
I think I was with Around the Corn at the time.
Yeah, and like that's kind of like the whole genesis of like why this whole started anyways, because like that's what happened to me for the longest time. It was like I'd fire off these jokes, and then like all these people on Iowa Twitter who were like journalists or like had like over 2,000 followers. I'm not going to name accounts because that's just I'm not going to name drop people here. Like I don't want to give.
I respect that.
But like there were multiple people who would like quote tweet me from Iowa Twitter, and like I just kept popping up all the time, just like exactly what you were talking about for like those kinds of jokes. Like I just kept gaining more and more steam, and like it would drive people nuts. And like I think that drives people nuts, like just like not being able to like read my tweets in the right context because they just have like a vendetta. And then the other thing too is like they're seeing me get to do something that I know for a fact that they're fucking jealous of. I don't want to hear Iowa fans in my mentions like being smartasses anymore. When I got to do an hour-long interview with Ryan Kriener, and you would actually probably pay me money to sit down and talk with Kriener for an hour like I did. So I know that you're jealous, and I know that drives a lot of your anger and your frustration towards me, and that's fine, but just fucking admit it. Like, it's not that difficult.
Dude, that interview was so fun. He was like...
Yeah, he was a good dude, too. He was awesome.
Dude, I 100% flubbed talking about the LeBron 10s because, like, dude, I swear to God, like, I love the LeBron line of shoes because he keeps like pushing them to add more and more cushion. Kind of like how Dame has the bounce outsole in his Adidas signature shoes, and that's like the biggest thing is that he's the only one that has bounce it as his outsole. Every other Adidas basketball player has boost, and so Dame really likes that softness. So does LeBron. So in his signature shoe, he always pushes them to try and add as much cushion as they can. They have an Air Max 360 cushion all the way through, but just in the heel, it's just Air Max 360. And then on the forefoot, they layered a Zoom airbag on there too. So it's like double cushioned right there. So when you actually like are slamming down to then go up for, I don't know, a windmill dunk or whatever LeBron decides to do, because he's LeBron and can do whatever the hell he wants. He, he's got all this cushion, and I'm like, dude, that right there, not even Jordan had that much power when it came to Nike. Like,
I know it's amazing.
Real quickly, I want to interject here. Did anybody tweet out that we were live? I mean, I would do it, but I only have like 30 followers, and like nobody's gonna see any of my tweets.
I did. Yeah, we got you.
Okay,
Chase. Don't worry.
Nice. You guys carry.
I did.
Like Finn
Absolutely.
and his guests carry the show and the personality. It's like I know this. I know this doesn't mean anything at all. But earlier in the week, some music producer guy with like 30K followers or something like that added me to a list of content creators. I know it doesn't mean anything because it doesn't mean it because I don't think lists mean a damn thing in Twitter. But it's
dude, that means something. That means something.
Right.
It means a little more than nothing, but it means something, man.
I guess I kind of like want to use it as leverage, like bragging rights. Like, oh, does this mean I'm a content creator now because I got added to this? But it doesn't.
Dude, I used to use my follows as bragging rights. I used to use Cyclone Larry as a brag.
That's still a bragging right, though.
I used to use Cyclone Larry as a brag. I used to use Austin as a brag. I used to use Ryan as a brag. That was.
That's probably my favorite. One of my favorite things that I've ever done is like us when we finally were like, all right, we're gonna let Finn run our main Twitter account because we were just like, I can't do it. Like I can't. Like after I did it for literally the first 2 days that I created it. I think the second day that I was running the account, I told an Iowa fan to fuck off and never listen to this podcast.
I remember that tweet. I remember seeing that. I do.
And that was like 48 hours into it, and my buddy from college, Matt Deering, he like sends a text to our group chat, and he goes, "Hey, let's maybe not let him run the main account anymore." Just like immediately, it was just like out on letting. I was like, "Yeah."
That was Matt that said that.
Yeah, he's like, "We can't let Stivers run the account." I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right. We probably shouldn't let me." So then that was we were like, we got to find somebody to do this because like I couldn't do it, and it was like pitching in where we could. And we kept paying attention. Like Finn's tweets kept popping up on my timeline. I'm just like, fuck, this kid's funny. Like I really like the shit that he's doing. He's pretty fucking hilarious. And then finally I was just like, hey, can you do this for me? Because like I fucking don't want to do any of it. So like that's how we met up, was just like saw a bunch of his tweets that were funny, and I was like, hey, I need you to come do this because I can't. Like morally, I can't do it. I can't be a good enough person to do it.
I think
he DM'd me, and the DMs said,
yeah, exactly.
What's up with the name?
You were were you private parts at the time?
I was Butternut Squash.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, okay. Because you've gone through like 4 different names in the past 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now I'm Corporal Parts. I got promoted because I hit 150 followers.
Nice. Yeah, he's pretty great for a recovering Nebraska fan. He's still.
Hey man, I'm not recovering. Are you shitting me? We got volleyball tomorrow, dude.
At least he's not stuck in 95.
He has been gassing up volleyball all week.
Dude, I'm so stoked. I'm so excited. I love volleyball. Jason knows.
Oh, Ryan, I think this is going to be new to you. Finn and I used to go to every single Iowa State volleyball game.
Every one of them.
Every one of them. I think I've only missed. Finn was there for like all of them except for the basically the NIT equivalent. The NIT equivalent of volleyball.
That season was dog shit.
It was that season, and I don't blame him for missing some of those games, because I remember there was one game where we were falling asleep. We were actually, and that was when we knew this is not good, because compared to the season beforehand, it was so energetic. Like Iowa State hosted the first round of the NCAA volleyball tournament in Hilton.
We got to see Wisconsin.
Yes.
Wisconsin's currently ranked number 1.
Are they really?
So that's context, yeah. They're ranked higher than Texas. What's that?
What started the fascination with volleyball?
I'm from Nebraska.
That's the only reason you're like, I'm forbidden.
Nebraska volleyball is notoriously really just like insane under John Cook.
Right.
He has 5 titles to his name. Nebraska has 5 titles to the program.
So he's all 5, then you're saying?
Yes, which is incredible, and he's still here. The last 3 times that we've been ranked number 5, we've won the title.
You're saying I should expect the 6th one this season too?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Dude, can we get a futures bet on Nebraska volleyball? Is that something we can gamble on?
Dude, I'm
the insider info.
Watch Penn State upset Nebraska.
Dude, if only Austin were here. Yeah. He's got somebody that he's watched on Penn State's volleyball team.
Oh boy, Austin.
Their defensive specialist.
Welcome in, Sorghum Herc. And also, I missed you, Private Corver. Welcome in.
Hold on. Wait, whoa. Hawks lost?
Wait a minute, hold on. They lost?
They lost to Indiana?
They lost.
No. Didn't Garza score more points than Indiana?
There was a certain stat line that somebody's been tweeting out. I'm not going to say whose it was, but he didn't score any points tonight. So, on that note.
It's because...
I'm going to assume that he left his shoes.
You know what? This sucks because this sucks a lot, because this now gives validation as it's because he got a parking ticket. He was so focused on the parking ticket that his mind wasn't in the game. That pisses me off.
I want that narrative to be pushed. That would be the greatest narrative that I've ever seen.
Well, I feel like that would be something that like the Bohannon. So, it's out there now. Bohannon. The Bohannon stands would be the ones that would, say that. They would be like, his mind wasn't in the game because he got this stupid parking ticket and stuff like that. Oh, he wasn't.
Okay. Let's just put a pin on that here real quick. If your mind is on a parking ticket,
as a D1 basketball player, 45 years into your career,
I got a parking ticket in October of last year. And the ticket actually had to be paid till this month. Do you know how many times I thought about that ticket after I got that speeding ticket? I didn't think about it again until I paid it today. So if the excuse is that he's at war with the parking police, I don't buy the narrative.
I feel like I have more of a valid reason to hate my parking ticket. Is one, I got ticketed for parking in a lot that I normally park at for work 7 minutes after I parked, and 30 minutes before the lot actually truly opened. And 2, it was on Valentine's Day. And 3, after I saw the parking ticket, my girlfriend broke up with me. So, I think I have more of a valid reason than him, to have it. But I'm not going to completely dismiss his parking ticket, because I think it's a fair argument, for players or anybody getting it. Because I assume that he was getting a COVID test. That's what it was, right?
He's gotten, 2 tickets the last week?
Yeah.
It was for...
Two in, the last 2 days.
He got one at Hawkeye Carver because he's stupid and I think parked overnight.
Oh, was that what happened?
That was the first one. That's when it all started. Because he's gotten multiple tickets in Iowa City.
Okay, so Private Corver does say it was for a COVID test. So I don't blame him for being mad at that. I feel like anybody that is going in for a COVID test should have immediate immunity for parking.
That was the latest one.
Yeah, and
I know for
that I understand that's a BS parking ticket. But then I I don't like. So I'm gonna go. Finn, you're getting spicy here. I don't know, man. You're getting a little bit spicy here. But the tweet. I understand him being upset about if he's actually getting a COVID test and he's getting a parking ticket for getting a COVID test. I mean, that should be waived. For here on campus, if we go, Finn stripping on stream will be allowed when we become an affiliate, because once we become an affiliate and then partner,
that's true. Yeah,
Twitch is more friendly about that. For here, at least on campus at Iowa State, if you park on campus, specifically by our health center, you get that waived. They will waive that ticket or whatever that at the health center. Because there's, even before you start, when you check in, it asks, did you park here? And if you say yes,
free?
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah,
it's free. So I understand if he was getting a COVID test, that's a medical thing, that, and he's required to do it as a student athlete. Why is he getting ticketed? So there's my gripe about that. But then I have
Here's my gripe. I want everybody to know that AJ did not accept part of my Christmas gift to him on Steam.
Oh.
So I just got refunded for it, and I'm not buying it again. So
he's here in stream, so I guess that's you're doing this.
So I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it again. Sorry, man. You can buy Civ 6 Rise and Fall on your own.
The expansion pack.
Let me see if I can pull up actually Bohannon's tweet about this.
He's got a lot.
Yeah.
I can't look at it, so.
Are you blocked, really?
All of us.
Oh my god. Yeah. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Let me start to find
Dude, AJ, the worst part is you accepted half of it. You accepted half of the gift.
So
you accepted the last expansion that came out, man. Not even. Oh man, no, yeah, all of us from around the corner blocked except for Greg.
Don't say their names.
Sorry.
Okay, so here, let me put this up on stream here. So I don't have a problem with the fact that I have a problem with the fact that he got a ticket, but I also have a problem with the fact that what he said about it. And we'll switch over to that over here. So this is his tweet. His tweet says, "Parking update. I parked," and it's a video tweet. "I parked my car at around 10:50 a.m. for COVID testing. Put the meter in for 11:22 a.m. And she, the meter maid, already out here giving tickets at 11:25. That's fine. But then he says, the violence needs to end."
Jason, I hate to rain on your parade here, but dude's just kind of keeping up the meme that he made. He said that he's starting war on the parking division.
True.
Yeah, but I think there's better ways. There's better ways to do it, though. I mean,
man, that's actually genuinely, I don't want to be that guy to you, but that's genuinely probably the funniest shit that he's ever done.
Well, if I'm out of the loop, then yeah, let me know.
I think you're just out of the loop.
If I'm out of the loop. So since I'm taking that out of context, his tweet was taken out of context by an Iowa student who had to complain about, was she a little bit too sensitive about it? Yeah, I think she was, but I understand where her mind is coming from. It was about her gripe about the violence needs to end, and as a verified student athlete on Twitter, you get this stuff all the time. Most people that I know on Twitter choose to ignore this stuff, but then he quote tweets it and says, this is why Twitter sucks or something like that.
Bohannon?
Yeah, he quote tweeted this person.
Oh, holy shit! Yeah. Bohannon did something okay. What?
He said that, and then after that, all of the Bohannon stands started going after this person, this girl, this student who tweeted it out, and that's just not cool to me. As a person with some sort of public image, I feel like you need to do better about controlling your fans, because every fan base and every whatever has the responsibility to at some capacity control their fan base. Well, this person ends up getting DM'd by numerous people saying like, "Oh, you're a whore. Just spread your legs like you're supposed to." Yeah, and like, "Oh, you're just mad because you haven't gotten laid in a while. Go get laid." And other
some shit you send to a dude.
other really not okay things. And so she came out with this, and people were still like giving her shit. But I think at that point, and I can't identify because 1, I'm not a female. 2, I'm not a student at Iowa. 3, I'm not a student athlete at any institution. I'm not famous at all. But I feel
you're not?
I've not at all. But I feel
you're famous in here.
Yes, only in here, and that's it. I feel like Jordan needs to come out with a tweet, saying, "Hey guys, this is not okay. Please stop attacking." But he's just stayed quiet about it. And that's my issue with it, is that he hasn't, made any attempts to control the fan base. I don't know if it's just me, or I don't know if I'm being reasonable here, or if I'm just being an idiot and spewing out garbage. Because you have to think about, Bohannon somewhat instigated that. I'm not going to say that he, told his fan base, "Hey, go DM this person some very sexist things."
Right.
I think if you see that, you have to come out and say, "Hey guys, this is not okay."
But I get that. Like,
has he talked about it at all?
No, he hasn't mentioned it. He just kept going on about the whole fight with parking. But I don't know if Go ahead, Ryan.
Like, I totally understand what you're saying in that regard of like policing the own people that follow you, because like even in my experience, there's been times where guys will come through and like they'll make a really shitty joke and be like, "This person's the R word," or "That's a super whatever word they choose to use, take, or what have you." And like, it is wild sometimes like that, where you just kind of scroll through your mentions and you see some crazy shit. So like, I can understand that, but like, I also know that I've been one to police people that have said things like that, but I myself have also used some jokes or said some things that have not aged great as well. And like, I know sometimes people say things in the heat of a moment they wish they could take back. Like, I'm not saying that these people are, should be forgiven for what they said for being sexist or misogynistic or anything like that. But like, I know a lot of times, like, I've said things that are shitty, so I feel like I definitely can't speak to that as far as like making a bad tweet.
Yeah, and we all make mistakes like that, but I don't know. I guess my expectations are high because he is a public figure, and that
he's verified.
So I guess that's my thinking. But I'm not sure, because I'm not in that position. I probably won't ever be in that position, so I don't really know.
Dude, self-verification 2021.
Yeah, I don't really know. So
I still contend that like the quote tweet function like straight up fucking ruined Twitter for me. Like, that function is just like unbearable, and it's just like one of the most obnoxious things in the world, because all it is just, let me show you how hard I can fucking dunk on this person for all the people who already agree with what I say. So any joke that you make, like, they're going to fucking think it's funny. It's only used for the self-gratification of, like, look how hard I can dunk on this person. I'm not a fan of it.
Hey, look, man, I just came here to vibe and have a good time, and I'm being attacked.
I didn't say specifically you. I just said I prefer not to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Quote tweeting for me. Quote tweeting for me, like, because I'm like such a troll, and I feel like I'm an obvious troll that holds himself to a rather high standard when it comes to content that he puts out there. I mean, sometimes, other times, I just have really, really garbage tweets, and I'm like, man, I want to die. But like, tweeting, but quote tweet. Sorry, I left the chat.
Yeah, circle her.
Quote tweeting people has legitimately been how I've grown the most. Because, like, for example, the Casey Smith tweet, quote tweeting Austin so much back when I first followed him. You know, and I was just like, I just kept countering people constantly.
Right.
And
that's
I never tried to like, I never tried to dunk on him like, man, it's over. This is done. I always tried to leave it open so that they could keep it going. And I think that's definitely the fun way to use the quote tweet function. The other way is to try and destroy Squires.
Soul and will to live, apparently.
Dude,
Finn despises him as like absolutely despises, like capital D despises, like maybe all caps despises. And
I think I said today in the group chat, I was like, if I ever see him in person, his teeth are gonna end up in the back of his throat. It's not negotiable.
Oh no! I hope we have not just lost our Twitch channel due to a threat, due to inciting violence.
No, I'm not inciting violence. I'm just gonna do it.
Oh boy!
Nobody else ever attacks Squires. I want to be the one.
See, I don't mention his name, or I try not to mention actual Twitter users unless they're verified and well known. Just because Twitter is Twitter, and you get the angry Twitter mob that actually happens on everything. And I don't
have the following.
And if anybody sees this, if any of the super fans of whatever or whatever whoever I've just criticized,
if any of our super fans see this, don't attack anybody.
Yeah, they might come they might come at me saying you blah blah blah, you're a homer or whatever. Like no, I'm just airing my criticisms of what this individual has done and his fan base. I'll criticize our fan base too. I'm not like biased, like whatever. Like I'm basically like a moderator here for any guests that we have. Like I kind of just be this neutral person, trying to keep things on track and everything like that, and trying to keep Finn from not saying anything too stupid. I was
this close to saying the gamer word one time.
No.
No,
I'm glad because he did get. So Finn has the ability to get really fired up, like really really fired up.
Right.
Brian's never seen that.
Right. We were recording a backlog episode one time, and we had to stop because Finn got too emotional and really got into it, like his feelings, and really just let something out without thinking. And I was just like, oh god, I'm so glad. It wasn't like he didn't say anything like racist. He didn't say the gamer word. He didn't say any homophobic slurs or anything like that. He didn't say anything like that. But it was just something that definitely would not have been suitable for anything. And so I'm like, I'm glad we weren't live when you said that, and he knew immediately, because he's like, oh shit, cut that out, please. Never mind.
Dude, I stopped and I was like, let's not.
It was immediate. It was like immediate. So he knew like once it came out, like, oh, that was bad. But I tried to mitigate. It's okay. If you want to get fired up on the show, get fired up. But just be civil about it too. Like don't be like, oh, you're a fucking whatever, or like homophobic slur or anything like this. Because I was actually watching Around the Horn a couple days ago, and Israel Gutierrez, one of the I don't know if he's a player, I don't know what they are, but he was talking about somebody on the PGA Tour, or I think it was a PGA Tour or something like that was sponsored by Ralph Lauren or something like that, said a homophobic slur, and like he started going on about it, like, please don't say this. And we like, really, why are we still saying some of this stuff? I'm kind of just going off on a rant and a tangent, but
you're passionate. Jason's my favorite Jason, and Jason's very passionate. I assume because he's tired.
I only ever Well, I just to give you a point on that, Jason, I only ever had one time that when I was still doing podcasts and writing for Wide Right Natty Light. I can't remember what it was specifically that I got fired up about. I think I went on like a 2-minute rant about Luka Garza, and this was like a year ago when people were still calling him like calling him Player of the Year over Obi. And like I just had like this run for like 2.5 minutes where I just like went after Garza, blah blah blah, whatever. And I'll never forget getting the text message afterwards from Austin Keeney, who was editing it. And he sent me a text, and he's like, "Hey, so I got to cut that like entire run about Garza." And I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "I love Fired Up Ryan, but like that one was way too hot." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm glad we have the option to cut that." Like, I just like absolutely ripped into Garza and just like all his fans, which I've since changed my tone on. So I've come around. He's definitely the Player of the Year, and I was very good because of him. So
was he the Player of the Year last year?
It was not. It was Obi Toppin.
Now, why do you think it was Obi Toppin?
I just think Obi was, honest to God, I just think he was a better player. Like, just watching him and just as much basketball as I watch, I think that you take – I guess you can't use the argument of if you take either one of them off those teams, I think they're both bad. Like, I don't think Iowa survives without Garza, and I don't think Obi survives without – or I don't think that Dayton survives without Obi. I don't know. I just think watching Obi play, he was just a better player last year. That's all I really think, truthfully. Garza's changed my mind. He has.
No, I don't disagree with you at all. And here's my opinion on that, because I love college basketball. College basketball is like my kind of basketball, because I know that you're a really big fan of the NBA. And in my genuine opinion, and this happens with like, you know, college football and the NFL as well, you can't really like do both, in my opinion. You can't really like fully understand both because they're just such a different dynamic. Look at David Montgomery in college. He could have never made it at like, you know, Alabama or Clemson, you know, one of these top schools. But he could easily make it on the New Orleans Saints. He could make it on the Green Bay Packers. He could make it on one of these top teams that are known for, you know, the run game, pass game, whatever the fuck you want, right? And it's just a totally different dynamic. Same with the NBA. With college ball, watching it last year as much as I did, and I'll admit that I started watching more so towards the beginning of January, because that's usually when teams start to actually care. And they stop doing these stupid rotations where they're trying to give their bench minutes to see who can actually be the 6, 7, 8 man. But Obi Toppin elevated his team so much more than Luka Garza did last year. Now this year, Luka Garza's gone above and beyond anything that Obi Toppin could ever do. Holy shit. The guy makes me worried, because I know for a fact that the Knicks are going to draft him. And I'd love to have him on there. The problem is that we have like 9 centers, 14 forwards, and I'm pretty sure that our coach is actually just a power forward in disguise. It's just actually Anthony Davis wearing a Tom Thibodeau suit.
Tibbs will at least push your boys to see what they got.
like the Knicks just have an obsession with height. They're all like, we can't score baskets, so we're gonna compensate with inches.
Right.
So like actually having some range this year, actually, you know, just being such a threat inside. Now, granted, there are like 0 decent power forwards or centers this year in college basketball, and it pisses me off, because that's when college basketball is the best, when they play traditional, solid basketball. But like, holy shit.
I just want to applaud Garza by just saying that like his 3-point shooting in the last year and what he's been able to do, like he proved me wrong. Like I know I was making fun of him over the summer and being like, cool, you're hitting threes in an empty gym.
Do it with a hand in your face.
You're a D1 player. Yeah, like who gives a shit? It's an empty gym, no, like whatever. But like I will say, watching him play this last year, like it definitely proved every take that I've had about him wrong. Like, I 100% believe he is the best player in college basketball, and I'm firmly on the record about that now. Now, anyway.
I also believe that, and although I don't really follow college basketball as much as I do other college sports, specifically football, this Iowa team is a good team, and Luka Garza is, in my opinion, I think I can't think of any other player in college basketball right now that can compete with him as Player of the Year.
Oh no, there's one.
Who do you got?
However, he doesn't elevate his team to nearly the same level that Garza in his gravity does. And that would be I can't even remember his name. God damn it!
See, there you go. I just proved my point.
It's Illinois' big man.
I forgot about Illinois. Illinois is actually good this year.
Illinois and their big men are going to give Iowa fits. If I'm wrong, cool. I'd love to be proven wrong. I love being shown that I'm wrong, because that means. Didn't Iowa Did they play Illinois already?
I think they did. Or did that game get canceled?
No, I think that game got canceled.
I thought it was like 2 weeks ago.
I think it did get canceled.
There's too many I schools. There's too many I schools in the Big Ten.
Joey G says, Jared Butler, you fucks.
Nah, dude, not Jared Butler. Are you kidding me? God. No, I would accept an argument for Suggs. I would accept an argument for Suggs. I really would. The dude, like, when he went out against West Virginia, it genuinely worried me, because I was like, I need him healthy for the Iowa game, because if Gonzaga is going to be competitive, they need him. And then suddenly all of Gonzaga just stepped up. They had 3 guys that ended up hitting double-digit points in the second half without Suggs there. And I was like, God damn, what is this team?
Okay, I know Joey is going to love this.
Oh yeah, Joe's going to love it.
There was a question that I saw on a different sports show, and I don't remember where it was, but it kind of made me think, like, God, I need the assistance of people that actually pay attention to college basketball. And the question was, who is the better team, Gonzaga or Baylor?
Baylor. No. Actually, Gonzaga's the better team. Baylor will win.
Where are you going with this? Baylor's so good.
Gonzaga's the better team because they're a much more traditional team. Think of them like UConn women's basketball. They are just so consistent all around. They've got the coach, they've got the players, they have the traditional aspect that kind of carries them. Or you've seen Glory Road, I assume, right, Ryan? Think Texas Western. They just kind of have. They just kind of have that, you know. They're the better team than Kentucky, but Kentucky was extremely scrappy. Same with Baylor. Baylor's that team that will, if as long as they can run with you at pace for so much of the game. No, Joe, they don't play better defense. They hand check so often. If they got called for half of the hand checks that they had, dude, they'd be in so much trouble. They play high school ball.
Oh, God. See, I haven't seen a single Baylor game or Gonzaga game.
They scare me. They scare the fuck out of me.
Admittedly, and I'm not proud to admit this, but I've only seen one men's college basketball game. I've watched more women's college basketball than I have men's this year. I think it's due to the fact that, like, I'm not entirely sure what the NCAA is doing for the college basketball season. Like, as far as, like, is the tournament still, like, does it have a set date, or is it still kind of in limbo? Like, we already know it's going to be it's Indiana, right? It's going to be in the bubble.
That's
Indianapolis.
We know it's going to. We know it's going to be
the NCAA tournament, or is that just Big Ten?
The actual tournament. The tournament's going to be in a bubble, but it's hard to pay for me as I'm not a hardcore college basketball fan. I'm just a casual basketball fan. I'd rather pay attention. I like that college basketball more than NBA, but
people care more.
Yeah, you see that.
That's something that John Calipari talked about a long time ago. And you don't have to like John Calipari to know that he's probably one of the greatest college basketball coaches of all time. Despite
I've
the
heard the name.
D-Rose
I have
incident.
definitely heard the name. But
head coach of Kentucky.
It's just I don't know what the plan is. Kind of like how it was. It was hard to pay attention for me to it was hard for me to pay attention to the Big Ten for football because it was hard to understand what they were doing, what plan they were doing. It was hard to pay attention to the Pac-12 because of the Pac-12. But for college basketball, it just seems like everywhere. Like, do we know for sure? Like, what are these actual canceled games? Are they canceled or are they postponed? Like, It's hard for me to actually pay attention. One, it's hard for me to pay attention because it's still kind of early in the season. But two, like, what's the plan for these games? Because games are going to get canceled. Even in the bubble, games are probably going to get canceled. Are they going to treat that as a forfeit, or are they going to okay, we'll play that game another time. We'll delay the tournament days and days, or how is this going to? So that's, as a casual fan, that's when it's hard for me to pay attention to college basketball right now because I don't know what they're doing, and I don't know what their plan B or C or D or Z is.
Dude, college basketball is wild because the NCAA is so unorganized at the highest level. First of all, the NCAA doesn't own the college football playoff. Why the fuck would you not own your championship?
It was the same thing for the BCS too, right?
No, they technically owned.
They did own. Okay.
They, at the very least, they had stakes in the BCS, so the BCS couldn't split the playoffs. Talking about splitting, which is wild. Like, the Power Five are talking about splitting off from the NCAA Division I so that they can be separate from the Group of Five, and then they'll just have the playoff all to themselves. Because
it should be entirely fucked up.
Would be super fucked up, especially since Iowa State would never make it.
Yeah. Speaking of playoff, I love I'm gonna name drop him, Cyclone Larry. His tweet about the playoffs.
I love the Group of Five playoff. Yeah, I mean, you've got A&M, Cincinnati.
And there was the once upon a time playoff, and it was like the prize is Urban Meyer. It was like the old teams have passed, like Texas, Nebraska, and other teams. But I just thought that
Texas, Nebraska, Florida State. I
just remember seeing that and I was like, this is great. That's kind of how I don't know. Larry has some good graphic.
Larry's got some bangers.
I don't know if he's a graphic designer,
kind of a wackadoodle.
But I don't know if he's like an actual graphic designer. But he's got some pretty good tweets. Even before he got banned for threatening beer.
And then banned again.
I don't even know how he got banned for the second time, but like he had he came up with designs for the court at Hilton Coliseum to be renamed Johnny Orr Court at Hilton Coliseum, and he had some really good designs. So I wonder if he was just a graphic designer. I think you guys know him better than I do, so I don't really know.
He's definitely not. I can tell you that right now. And I'm not going to give away any personal information about him, other than there's a very strong conspiracy theory that it's me. That's all I'll say.
But what if I am Cyclone Larry? What if I'm talking in third person?
Hey, the Cyclone Larry is the friends we made along the way, guys. That's all I know. That Cyclone Larry is within us all.
All 13 of them.
All the people who run it.
Yeah.
Me, Dylan, everybody who. It's everybody.
That was my favorite message that I've ever seen in any group chat ever. Was the all 13 of us combined are like 225.
Nope. Trying to figure it out.
I was like,
it's funny. I like Larry and I like a lot of the tweets that he does because he's got
some weird ones though.
He was the first troll account that I actually saw because I'm still fairly new to Twitter. I've only been on Twitter for a year, but like he was the first truly like this is a good troll like account, and then more came to follow because when one troll has when you find one you end up finding more and more and more. It's very very.
And also what's kind of funny was like Larry and I came up on, like, I would say Twitter, like, around the same time. Like, we started gaming the same amount of Steam for, like, the troll stuff. And it pissed me off, like, very first time he did one of his checklist tweets. That was, like, just pick a random category.
Yeah, I
would say
this.
It's better than somebody in it. And I was just irate that I didn't think of that, because I seriously was just so pissed, because I was like, holy fuck, that is genius. This is perfect. Like, oh my God, I was so mad the first time I saw one of those tweets.
I'm not sure if he's the first one that has created it, but he's definitely the first one that I've seen, and I've seen imitators afterwards. I've seen other people like make these checklists.
My favorite one would be I'm gonna name drop him here, Matt Daring's checklist for Nebraska.
Yeah.
Where my absolute favorite was, he goes, restaurant chains named Runza. 1. And then whoever we were facing, 0. I was like, yes, that's all we need, man. That's how we win. That's how we win.
Runza Connect.
I was like, I don't even know what the sport is. I'm pretty sure it was like bowling or something. But I'm like, you know what, man? Yes. Speaking of bowling, Nebraska's damn good in bowling, and it confuses the fuck out of me.
I heard that.
Why is bowling a sport?
I knew
in
a
the
girl
NCAA?
that UNO on a bowling. I knew a girl that went to UNO on a bowling scholarship.
I didn't know that was an actual D1 sport.
Yeah. Yeah, the men's and women's team when I was there.
Kind of makes me wonder if people
They had a men's team?
Yeah, they did at the time.
Dude,
this was also like
that's
10
not
years
even.
ago.
Dude, that hasn't even been sanctioned ever. That's the wildest part. If a school has a men's team, that means that they've got money put into that program.
Yeah, that like somebody was paying for it.
It's like Ohio State has one of the best men's volleyball teams. That's not a sanctioned sport. Last I knew, it could be. I don't know. Like, I don't think that's a sanctioned sport. That means somebody's putting money into that, which is sick to me. Also, men's volleyball terrifies me. Holy shit, God. I love women's volleyball. Men's volleyball scares me. I don't like watching it because it is terrifying.
No way, man.
That legitimately scares the hell out of me. Like, just the pace, the speed, the strength, everything about it is just like, oh, like, to me,
you know how in women's volleyball they do that little hop when they serve? Men's volleyball, they could spike it from the back line.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It'd be awful.
They put a ton of topspin on their serves. It's crazy.
I'm like,
and it's
AJ, I forgot that Lazard went to Urbandale. Yep. He was a Jayhawk.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Urbandale, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or were you like some weird city? I don't know, man.
I want to shift attention to you, Finn. You know, I've been thinking about this ever since Sunday night, and I've kind of been just had you in mind, thinking of you, and like, you're a Saints fan.
Oh fuck! Don't no.
No. I want to know, like, because I feel bad for Breeze. I do. Watching that game made me sad. It made me sad because it looked. I felt like I was witnessing the end of a career, and that career just die right in front of my eyes.
Okay, did Breeze retire?
Not yet, but it's like expected.
Yeah.
I need Breeze to not retire because he's not done. I don't care what anybody says. He's not done. He can rehab that rotator cuff. Everybody knew it was torn. I feel like the news outlets are all like, oh, Drew Brees played with a torn rotator cuff all season. Fucking everybody knew that shit.
Do you think though
you can see it
with Rivers retiring now? Do you think that might entice Brees to retire also?
I don't think so because Brees played above Rivers for how many years?
Well, yeah. Brees is definitely a better, like, you can't even put. I think the only thing you can put them in the same category is that they both played for the Chargers at one time.
And they both played a lot of games.
Yeah.
There's 2 categories that you can put them in. Chargers quarterbacks, actually 3. Chargers quarterbacks, greatest Chargers quarterbacks. Which, I mean, that doesn't take much. I'm going to be honest. Ryan, you could probably be one of the top 3 Chargers quarterbacks of all time.
should have left the joke where it was. You shouldn't have had to explain it. It made perfect sense. You were good.
But it's like those two are part of the old guard. The old guard of quarterbacks that played what I would call traditional football. They didn't, they didn't worry about the run game. They didn't need to run. They had running backs for that. Why would they need to run? And now all that's left of the old guard would be Brady, currently Breeze, and Ben Rapelessberger. I mean, like
Rapelessberger. He rapes less. He might still rape, but just less.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah. No, dude. Rivers. Fuck. Fuck, dude. You're right. Rivers did finally learn how to pull out. Dude.
Dang, got him.
Those are the quarterbacks that defined the NFL that I've seen. Everybody talks about how, Joe Montana might be the greatest of all time. They talk about how... Actually, that's the only quarterback that I ever hear.
Really? You don't hear Marino?
No, not really. I know he had the undefeated Dolphins, but like...
Marino didn't have the undefeated Dolphins.
Oh, shit. Who was that then?
God, I don't remember his name. But...
Cool.
No.
But, like, Marino has the whole... Gets flack of, not winning a Super Bowl. And
right.
So,
but then you look at the current quarterbacks in the NFL that, like... Oh, I forgot Rodgers. Sorry about that. I know you're a Packers fan. But you look at the current old guard on the, that's in the NFL. Roethlisberger would have, 2 Super Bowls to his name?
He has 2 Super Bowls to his name.
Right. Brady has 6. Rivers has none, I want to say.
None. He has none. He has Does he even have a playoff win?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
he does, because they played in the AFC
Super Bowl,
Championship. No, he didn't play in the Super Bowl.
Was it just the championship?
He played in the championship game, and I think he got beat by the Patriots, I think.
Like, probably. Knowing Brady.
I think it was 2007 is when they made it.
But then you've got Breeze and Rodgers, who have 1 win each. Those two are, like, people talk about them like... Actually, people talk about Rodgers like he's a god. Like, he's he's the undisputed greatest of all time. And I'm not just talking about the Midwest, where there's a ton of Packers fans. I'm talking about, like, everywhere. You never hear that about Breeze. People talk about, like, Super Bowl wins like they made everything. If you want to talk about Super Bowl wins, Brady's done it so many times. He did it after Deflategate with balls that were perfectly fine. He won that fucking Super Bowl, man. In my mind, Brady's the greatest of all time. But there's no better passer than Breeze. And holy shit, man, if he retires now, I'm going to be so devastated because we don't have a future.
Yeah,
Taysom Hill, maybe. But he's a running quarterback.
Breeze,
can't pass. He's
Breeze
like Tommy Frazier.
Has the distinction of, what he leads in what passing yards and touchdowns too, I think.
Passing yards, completion percentage over his career, and Brady's ahead of him in touchdowns in the regular season by, I think it's 5 or 6. Because Breeze missed like 7 games.
Yeah, I bring this up because, we're getting to the point
Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
He missed one, baby.
Hey, Jameis, I'm impressed with Winston. Yeah, the 30 for 30. Getting not 30 for 30. That's an ESPN documentary series.
The 30 for 30 GOAT can now see 20
season.
for 20.
30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. That's great. Greatest.
He's on his way to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Winston is like the greatest quarterback of all time, just like how Cody Parkey is the most accurate kicker of all time and the greatest kicker of all time.
That was my favorite Big Cat tweet that I've ever seen.
But
about Parkey.
I nearly died. I was like, holy shit. This right here, this is it. This is the peak of comedy. This is better than Bohannon's your mom jokes. This is better than Bohannon saying, man, maybe he's asking a serious question about my age. This is better than the Bernie memes. I died.
I don't know about that. We had a fire burning meme earlier.
Dude, we were talking about adult films. For those of you that don't know, adult films are films about filing your taxes, completing your W-2s,
investing, making investments,
all of that
creating
fun
your portfolio.
stuff. I'm pretty sure my favorite one is actually about taking out a loan from specifically U.S. Bank.
And I think you have to have. Does it require the help of your stepsister too?
It's true.
She needs to be a co-signer, right?
It does require the help of your redheaded stepsister.
And she gets stuck trying to get a pen in the cushions of the couch.
It's just wild, man.
Yeah.
Adult films are wild. Ryan's frozen.
He is frozen. He has gone to go. He's like, oh shit, I need to watch this video because I have forgotten to apply for a loan from U.S. Bank. And he's like,
dude, Ryan's frozen. He can't hear us. Is the worst part.
Are you really? Is that what happens when you freeze? He's back. He's back.
Ryan's internet is absolutely notorious.
Okay, we need the name drop internet service provider because that's something because those are actual businesses and that can help people in the chat and whoever watches this video later. Like, what internet service provider do you have?
So mine is for pretty much everybody in our building, all under one.
Oh, so it's all shared then.
We all pay like a flat fee for it.
Those are always the worst because they're always like, oh yeah, we're gonna get Windstream's fucking 25 gigs down, 1.2 gigs up bundle. The shit that they have in fucking Beatrice, Nebraska.
It sucks.
Dude, I can't wait for the day that I actually move, and then we're gonna have our own Twitch channel for the podcast, and then Jason can stop wondering, should we make one?
I don't know. I haven't really thought.
You enjoying
about
the followers?
I haven't. Well, yes, but I think here's the problem with making a Twitch channel. Like after you've already done 10 episodes and you have 25 followers, even though it's like not much compared to other people, but it's like not all 25 are going to transfer over to the new channel. So that's the unfortunate thing about it. Yes, you can get more like newer followers if it grows, like you get other followers, but having that starting number would be nice because who's gonna, as I've seen from my YouTube channel, as I streamed The Last of Us a couple days ago, like who's gonna
Did you really?
Yes, who's gonna tune in with one subscriber? Like who's gonna tune into that? It was a stupid stream. I really was just like, I said at the end of the stream, like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm stopping.
Oh my god, dude. That's the one thing that pisses me off the most about you is your like hesitancy, all of that stuff, man.
Well, it was more of the what I was streaming too. I just streamed The
Last of Us?
Well, I didn't realize that I was actually done with the game the last time I streamed. So there was only the last time I streamed, which was sometime in December, I did this long, like 3.5 hour stream. And I stopped at what was supposedly the epilogue, or not supposedly, what was the epilogue. And all this is, so when I picked it up, I think it was Tuesday or Monday, somewhere around there. When I picked it up, all I had to do was just walk a few steps, and then roll credits. That's what it was. I'm like, it was like 7 minutes. I had 7 minutes of the game left.
Oh no.
And all it was just walking. And then after that, I'm just like, why am I streaming?
Oh my god.
Even though I did start like the DLC portion of it, it's just like I'm not in the mood after that.
Dude, I remember watching the test stream that you did.
I don't even remember what that was.
The test stream that you did on here with the low latency.
Oh yeah. No, wait.
Yeah, it was like.
Was it last week?
2 weeks ago.
Oh,
we were live last week. Remember?
Yeah, we were live last week, but then I also did like a test stream testing.
Was it? Or maybe that was like
you're
Monday?
right. I'm thinking high latency for some reason. Brain,
sure.
no work right now.
Sure.
I know what you're talking about.
No, yeah, I remember watching that test stream, and you were all like, I've been wondering, like, should I keep doing this? Like, maybe we should make our own channel. Do I want to keep, streaming it and all that stuff? And the whole time I'm thinking, like, dude, I want you on here. Holy shit, man. I don't want to do it with anybody else.
I don't know why. Like, I'm feeling better about it now. I just think maybe the time off had me like getting in my head way too much about like, what do I actually bring to the table? Because
you bring so much, especially passing it.
I care about our audience because I want to, at least we do this for fun. We do this. We didn't really have any expectations like about growing or anything like that. We just did it for fun. But there's also this like in the back of my mind, it's like I still want this to be enjoyable for everybody listening. And I'm hoping like, with these guests, you got Ryan on, and I'm hoping Ryan's enjoying being here, and I hope he is at least, I don't know. You could be brutally honest with me and say like
when my internet's working, It's great.
and that's the thing. I want everybody to be honest with us. Like if our stream sucked, tell us, like, and we'll do better next time. Like, don't sugarcoat things. I was about to say sugar daddy things. Wow. Don't sugarcoat things.
If you want to sugar daddy the podcast by donating, you can let one of us know.
We have considered thinking about starting a Patreon, and I know if I actually did, I use OBS, just standard OBS Studio, but I think I've watched XC girl do her streams, and I don't know if it's because she's an affiliate, but I know Streamlabs, there's like a donate button if you do it through Streamlabs OBS, whereas I just do regular OBS because we do a podcast. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. This what I was
stream is sponsored by nothing.
What I was going to do this stream, I was actually going to capture the live chat and put it on stream too.
Oh shit! No, that'd be sick.
I'll have to do it next week. It's just I got in the aims at 9:17 or whatever that is. So like 13 minutes before we were scheduled to go live. So unfortunately, I didn't really get around to doing that. But I meant to do that. So like we got more things, like just trying to improve, just subtle things like that. But I use OBS Studio just because we don't just do strictly gaming, because I don't know if I want to have like the follower notifications just pop up and like big in your face or blah 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 or whatever. So OBS Studio kind of makes it friendly, I guess, for podcasting and just chatting streams or that, as which we basically do all the time. But so Ryan, real briefly, you said you were with Wide Right Natty Light beforehand. How many years were you with Wide Right?
That's when I followed him.
I worked with them for about a year and a half before I left. I got lucky. I've told this story quite a few times, and I mean, I don't even know if anybody's even paying attention to this, but I'll tell it again. Like, I had always like really been big into writing, and like even from the time I was little, like I would write like short stories all the time and just like leave them around my house. And my mom thought like I was some like super weird kid and whatever. So like I always like had a knack for wanting to write. And
Ryan wrote a book, by the way. I'm gonna drop the link in chat.
Either. Well, it wasn't a book. It was just a PDF. It's a short story. Thank you for that, by the way. I'm not here plugging that.
You're the guest. You get to do whatever you want.
I challenged myself. I think it was like the winter of 2017. And I was like, I want to take this seriously. Like, I want to do something to challenge myself to be like, I want to take my writing more serious. I really want to challenge myself, whatever. So to do that, I was like, what's like the hardest thing to do? Like, what's the most difficult thing to do? And I'm like, all right, comedy. Like, comedy is a very like subjective. It's a very hard thing to do in my mind. Like, because we all agree, like, what's sad, right? Like, cancer sucks. Like, breakups, they're miserable. Death in your family, it's the worst. Like, we all know what like really drives us from a sense of like sadness. And so like drama's not really that appealing because, everybody agrees what kind of sucks. Well, I was just kind of like, I want to figure out how to be funny, and I want to figure out how to challenge myself to be funny and be like, more invested in the stuff that I write. And so that winter, I was like, all right, I'm gonna start doing open mic nights. So like, I looked up every single comedy club in Omaha where I live, and I was like, I'm just gonna hit these as much as possible. And I can tell you right now, the first time I ever got up there was fucking awful. I mean, it was so bad. I had no rhythm. I had like no cadence. I had no sense of like what to do. I had 5 minutes on stage. I think I was up there for like 2:15 because I just like rattled through my jokes. Like it was like a Robin Williams stand-up special. It was just like fucking rapid fire, man. I had no sense of like confidence.
Did you at least show your biceps? Like, do you see these biceps? Did you at least do that?
I did not.
Do you have a problem getting girls?
I swear to God, this is exactly what I did. I'll tell you, this is my first night I ever did it. Guy fucks my name up, okay? He calls me Stivers. Happens a lot. Like,
okay, I
fuck up my last name.
Yeah, I'm glad. So, just very briefly, I want to interject there. How you said at the beginning of the show, like, I'm glad you said my name right. Like, it's not hard. How is it Stivers? It's the way I see it. It's Stivers. I've always said it as Stivers. So, I don't know.
It's just one of those things. Go ahead, Finn.
I could see it being Stivers.
Yeah,
like that one I could see.
Stivers. Yeah, like I hear it all the time. But so the MC fucks my name up, and like right there when he messed it up, I'm like, okay, I've got a joke for this. Like in my head, I was like, I know what I'm gonna say. Like I thought of one right there as he screwed it up. So I go up on stage, and this is a true story. I take the microphone from the MC, and I look at him, and I go, it's actually pronounced Stivers. It's a hard I to hear, like your doctor when he says H blank V. I thought it was hilarious that I was dropping an AIDS joke right there just to warm everybody up. Nobody else did. Fucking crickets. So I'm standing up there having just bombed an AIDS joke and absolutely terrified as to how this is going to go. It was just horrifying.
So you already just, I think, so just that encounter, I don't know if it's just the delivery of the joke is like people just thought you were being genuinely offended because it's sometimes with some people it's hard to tell. So right. I wonder if that was that had to do anything with it. But do you think just that kind of just threw off your entire routine? You're just like, I just want to get this done as fast as possible then?
It was probably, I think like what happened was with that, you just like, when you try to make a joke off the cuff like that, and like, in certain contexts, like, it probably would have worked better if I'd like slowed things down a little bit and just been like, it's a hard idea, like when your doctor gives you the test results or something like that, or been more subtle instead of just like throwing it into somebody's face like that, it would have been better. I had a joke that I tried out a couple times that Ariana Grande's pussy was like the video from The Ring because it ruined so many people's lives. And this was like right after Pete went into rehab and Mac Miller had killed himself. So timing on that one was not great.
Yeah.
Like, the first time I heard that one in a club, that was also a rough one. Yeah. And like that's the thing that was like, that's the thing is like, you think of something you think is going to be funny, and you're like, okay, how can I try to make this funny? And then you like also have to like try to be conscious of like the timing of it, like in accordance with like events and everything. It's like, I don't know, it's tough. It really is. And like obviously certain things I've learned that do work, that don't work. It's always just kind of a mixed bag to trying those things out.
I think you also have the unfortunate thing of trying to be a comedy artist in today's society.
Don't bring that up, man. Come on.
Well,
there's so many jokes that you can make so many jokes without being a prick about it all.
Well, yeah, you can. But here's the problem. Like, and it bothers me that a lot of the topics that even just 5 years ago are completely off limits because the audience just doesn't understand. Like, oh, it's a joke. Like, now they get super pissed off about it. Like, I'm impressed with Dave Chappelle. Like, how he's still. I think maybe it's just because it's still his core audience that has followed him. So as with anything creative, if you're a writer, basically if you're a comedy or if you're a comedian, you're also a writer. If you're a musician, if you're a painter or anything like that, you just got to find that right audience. So that's the hard thing about just being a creator.
That's what's funny. Well, what's funny is to say that, and like the first time I got off stage, I stopped. Like some dude stopped me, and he was like, "Look, what's funny? Like, I wanted to discourage you or anything, but like, not everybody's laugh all the time. Like, you have to find the people that you make laugh, and like that's your audience, and you know you're always going to make those people laugh."
Yeah,
you gotta find your audience.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's...
Chappelle did that. He had his stand-up career and then found a show.
And so bring it round about what I was trying to get at.
And I don't know. I like dark humor. I like humor that is, really digs at the toughest things that people don't really want to talk about. But that's unfortunately something that a lot of people don't really like because that's the topic you don't touch right now. Like, so I just wonder how difficult. I don't know if you have the same, like, you kind of have that type of humor and you have those types of jokes, but it's just
I had a joke like that tonight. Ryan deleted a tweet that I put out. I was pretty sad. I thought it was an absolute slammer. So for those of you that
it's just even
oh man, no, you're like I understood your point completely. I wasn't arguing it. I was just being a kind of a turd about it. But for those of you that don't know, for those of you that don't know, my girlfriend is from Cedar Rapids, and she used to work at the Marcus Theaters out there in I think it's in Robbins, is where this one was. Jordan Bohannon went to her high school.
Oh, here we go.
Linmar High School, where he was outstandingly mediocre and was a spot-up shooter just like he is now. I would also make a lot of threes if I took 60 a game. It's going to happen, man. But
I don't know if I'm smiling in just disappointment or what, or it's just like, oh, here we go again. Here's Finn going off on Bohannon again.
But Bohannon got caught by my girlfriend smoking weed in the theater. Guess what? Weed's illegal in Iowa. Can't smoke weed in the fucking movie theater. The fuck are you doing? So she goes up to him. It's like, hey, so we have had quite a few people complain about you smoking weed right here. You're going to have to leave. He threatens to call the manager for harassment because she's harassing him. She goes, well, my manager's not going to respond to you because he's calling the cops right now on you.
Got him.
So he runs like a little bitch. And today, Bohannon made it onto bad legal takes. Not because of anything that he said, but because somebody replied to him saying that the police were guilty of entrapment. And holy shit, that is the worst take ever. The police are guilty of entrapment, yeah? Do you think that they just stand there at the meter like, okay, we got 45 seconds. Yeah, okay. Like, nah, man. And I tweeted out from the main. I was like, congratulations. I'm pretty sure he has us blocked anyway, so it's not like he would have seen it. But that's not the important part here. I was like, congratulations to Bohannon for finally being something that has to do with legality that's not smoking weed in the middle of a theater in Robbins, Iowa.
Yeah, AJ makes a good point here in chat. He says, no disrespect on getting high. He says he did Molly at his initiation, and apparently you can confirm, Finn. But he's like, but why would you threaten to call the manager over when you're high?
Yeah. That's That's the mystery. Probably because he was high. Dude, AJ, I still remember you almost cried at initiation, and I was so worried for you. I thought you were gonna die. I was like, shit. This is the guy I'm pledging with? But dude, Ryan sends in the group chat, he's like, hey man, whoever sent that, it's gone. I'm sorry, man. Because believe it or not, Ryan sometimes has morals. You can explain a little further if you want, but
I can. All I said was that, look, I get the joke. I think it's pretty funny. I understand what you're trying to do here, but as someone who is a fairly regular user of weed, I feel like it would be a rough look for my whole podcast to try to dunk on him for it. And I mean, I was just smoking on this podcast not 5 minutes ago, so it'd be a bad look.
I saw it and I was like, I don't have a problem with it because
dude, we don't have a Monster sponsorship, so we're not gonna lose it. We don't have to go to G Fuel to get a big sponsorship.
I'm not running for political office at any point in my life, so I think I'm good there.
Dude. Oh, by the way, for those of you that don't know, I'm gonna run for Congress in 2024. Don't expect to win. I'm just gonna do it.
What he says anyway.
Nah, dude, I'm gonna be 25 in 2024.
Are you gonna be a senator or a representative?
I can't be a senator. I'm not 30.
Okay. See, I don't know much. Or at least I have forgotten the rules of U.S. law and government. So,
25 to be a rep, 30 to be a senator, 35 to be president.
Please, if you become a representative, please advocate for the elimination or rewritten of DMCA.
Dude,
you know how much
that's
support,
a good one.
you know how many streamers would support you, and like that would actually give you traction.
Ooh,
like
that's a good idea.
Fighting against like the record companies and just
I think I would be running against
creators.
I think I would be running against Jeff Fortenberry. And oh yeah, no, dude, I would have to wait till 30 to run against Ernst, and I think that I'd be running against Ben Sass.
You guys are both from Nebraska, I assume, right? But I would assume that you guys are from a different. You're from a small town in Iowa, but you're currently in Nebraska then.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him.
Yeah,
I moved here 10 years ago.
My assumption is that you guys are in different districts then, though.
Yep.
I don't know how many districts Nebraska has. What, like 5? 3? Just 3, really?
We have 3 for representatives, and we have 5 for the electorate.
I was going to say, I'd like to point out that we have a very important electorate vote, too.
Yeah, because isn't Omaha their own like electorate or something?
Yep. Douglas County is its own electorate.
Yeah, I know they split their electoral votes.
We are one of 2 states that are allowed to split them. AJ, dude, I'm a burner account. I can't make burner accounts illegal. Dude, I'm a resident of Nebraska technically. So I mean, hey,
Corver, you can't run against Finn just because Finn will be running Nebraska, but you'll be running in Iowa. Yeah. They won't work that way.
Hopefully, I'm going to be living in Lincoln when I run for Congress. I'll just have this like shitty little studio apartment in Lincoln that I'm just chilling in. I'm busy calling people. Hey, so I'm running for Congress. I'm running against Jeff Fortenberry. You want to give me money?
Jesus, that's spot on.
And like all these people are gonna have my phone number, and I'm gonna be so sad.
You're actually gonna use your personal phone number.
I don't have another phone.
You're a burner account, but you don't have a burner phone? Come on, I'm disappointed. You got to take your burner.
I am a burner account. That's my only account.
You got to take your burner status to the next level. You gotta have your burner phone, burner Netflix account.
AJ's an experienced campaign volunteer.
Yes, yeah,
I'll have him help me.
He was a campaign volunteer for Kamala Harris, right? And it's Kamala. I know it's Kamala. I've never said it incorrectly.
I prefer to call her Mamala just because I saw that on her Twitter bio and I was like, holy shit, that's great.
I know Sotomayor at the inauguration mispronounced her name, and I was sad about that. Because as a Hispanic, I'm like, oh no, come on, you were our hope to get things right, and then you said Kamala.
Shine today.
If you rewatch the election, she's all smiles, and then after Sotomayor says, repeat after me, she still smiles. It was Kamala. Kamala, and then her face goes. Her smile just went away.
Damn.
Yeah, and she wasn't smiling the rest of the swearing in. I don't know if that's the actual official name of it, but
for those of you that don't know, big news in the United States. We now have a new president and vice president. We have our first ever Joe Biden as president of the United States.
Oldest president to hold office. At 78, right? I think.
What?
I think it's 78. I don't remember. He's the oldest.
He's 78?
I think so. Is he? No, that can't be right. Hold on.
No,
there's no way he's 78. Hold on.
There's no way he's older than Trump. If he is, it can't be.
He is 78. I am right. He is 78.
How old's Trump?
75, I think.
I didn't know Trump was that old. Trump is
Holy
74.
Shit, how is Trump?
He's 74.
How is Trump that old? Dude, what the fuck?
74, man.
Why are these people so old? God damn.
It's because the boomer generation is still voting their generation in.
But we also have our first ever female vice president. I'm not gonna bring up the minority stuff because to me, as a cis white male, the minority stuff to me doesn't matter as much. Because we have our first woman as our vice president, which is, I think, bigger than any minority. We've had a minority president as our first. That's huge, right? I say, in my mind, we gotta move past that shit because that's some shit that's holding us back because of the fact that, we try and bring that up because all of these shitheads and just really horrible people are all like, man, I'm racist. I've decided I'm racist. And then all that shit, right?
Wait a minute, hold on. They've decided that they're racist? I didn't know they decide. I thought they just subconsciously don't even... I don't think they realize that they're racist. I thought that's how it worked.
I don't think they were born that way.
I've never once actually... I've knowingly met a racist. But I've never heard anybody saying, you know what? I'm a racist. I have decided that I am a racist and I have figured out I'm a racist. I've never heard anybody say that. Really?
Yeah. Welcome to the trailer park.
Oh, boy. Then again,
you'll get everything in small town Nebraska.
Maybe it's the fault of me growing up in the Quad Cities, which is a very diverse community. So maybe that's my fault for not growing up in... Spencer, Iowa, or something, because I think Spencer's kind of small, isn't it?
Ish. I think it's bigger than Beatrice.
Whatever's here, I guess Lake City. I guess there we go. There's a
small in Iowa is like 30,000.
That's small.
And then small in Nebraska, we're all like, oh yeah, we've got a town of one person. That's not a joke.
There's definitely a couple of Iowa towns like that too.
I mean, there's a couple of Iowa towns that I'm pretty sure don't have anything but cows.
Can confirm. Just driving on I-80. Driving on I-80 in between Williamsburg and Altoona.
Those are AJ's kinds of towns, if you know what I mean.
There's if she ain't a lady, if she ain't 280, that's
for damn sure.
That was a gem last week. That was an absolute gem last week.
Dude, but bringing up the minority shit in my mind, it's good. But AJ's only into whales. Cows aren't big enough for him. I'm sorry, guys. He's not out here hog hunting. He's out here whaling. Call me Ishmael. But bringing up all the minority shit in my mind, it has a good there's a good thought behind it. But I feel like it's almost more detrimental. And I could be entirely wrong. Who fucking knows, man? Political opinions are opinions for a reason, right?
Is this political though? I don't really know.
It's kind of a political thing.
At this point, I don't know what's political and what's not. It feels like everything's political now.
Is this political?
It's possible.
It could be.
Know.
It's tea.
You can make anything political, it seems like now.
It's tea. Truly has tea now.
Oh, tea?
Those of you that
tea?
don't know. Yeah.
Oh, you're part of the... Why are you part of the red coat?
Fuck yeah, man.
I just made it political, I guess.
For the king. For the queen. Well, no, they have a queen right now. Yeah,
They have a queen.
For the queen.
They have a queen.
But bringing up all the minority shit in my mind kind of holds us back a little bit because it brings that to the forefront rather than she's the first woman vice president, which is massive. It's huge leaps and bounds forward because we definitely view race as a bigger issue than gender or sex, however you want to look at it.
They're both different things. Gender is different from sex. Oh no, Ryan really broke.
Oh no, he's just sitting there.
He went
all gray and green.
Hold on, we gotta be careful because if this flashes too much, it might be actually an epilepsy warning. Yeah, I might have to. How am I gonna do this? Can I just here? We're back. Okay, he's back.
Oh, there's the picture.
Yeah,
there he is.
You went.
I didn't even do anything.
You went Hulk smash. Is what happened. Your computer went Hulk smash. It just went green. He went right.
It was the Baylor alternate green.
I don't know if Joe is still here. He might go to sleep because he's gonna have a kid soon. So,
dude, speaking of Baylor green, Baylor's neon green. I fuck with that.
I like neon green.
Their neon green is sick as hell. I love it.
But we're approaching.
That's an interesting frame to get frozen on.
It was. We're approaching 11:30 Central Time here. Thank you first, Ryan, for sticking around this long and actually being patient with me too, especially with me traveling, having some hang-ups on that stuff. But real quickly before we leave off, something sports related. I'm gonna talk. I want to know your guys' inputs on both the championship games this upcoming Sunday, I believe it is. So, your picks for the Super Bowl and why. I guess I'll start with Finn because Ryan's kind of frozen right now. He's becoming a banquet TV dinner. But Finn, I'll start with.
I think he would prefer Hungry Man.
Hungry Man. Oh man, those commercials are awesome.
I personally have to go Bills and Packers. Dude, I don't dislike Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I shouldn't say that. I'm pretty against the Chiefs, just like I'm pretty against the Royals, just because Kansas City is like everybody's go-to here in Southeast Nebraska, since we don't have anything at all. And I'm sure that in Omaha, you see a lot of Royals fans since their AAA affiliate, the Storm Chasers. Mm-hmm. I think they're the Storm Chasers.
They were the last time I remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they changed their name to the Storm Chasers.
But that was like 2012, so that was 8 years.
Because they used to be the Omaha Royals.
Yep, that's what I remember.
But they're in Omaha, so it makes sense that you find a lot of Royals fans in Omaha, kind of like you find a lot of Cubs fans right by where the Iowa Cubs are. But the Bills they have the momentum right now. They have all the momentum in the world. And I do believe that they can fully pull it out. Josh Allen's been scary good. Scary good. And I firmly believe that he has the ability to maybe not be better than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is too dynamic, in my opinion, for Josh Allen to be better than him based off of one game. But yeah, no, I think that the Bills pull it out. Packers are so much better than the Bucks. the Bucks have Brady. And is Gronk injured right now?
I don't think so. I haven't heard, but it's.
I think so. No.
Like, if they have Gronk, yeah, he's got his favorite target. But his other favorite target's dead. And has been for years.
Talk about Hernandez?
Yeah.
Oof.
It's like that's it. That's legitimately it. That's all that the Bucks have. They have Brady and whatever he brought with him. Josh Allen has more receiving touchdowns than Mahomes by far. I don't know the numbers. I'm not somebody that tends to go off of numbers. I tend to go off of gut feeling because it's more fun, in my opinion, than being all like, oh yeah, LeBron has a history of not getting triple doubles against Milwaukee, especially since the last time they played in the bubble.
That hit. So I don't know.
That did hit. I have to give Matty credit. That did hit. But it's the Bills feel really good right now. The Packers, I hate to say this as a Saints fan, just because, NFC. But I am friends with Lazard. Packers feel good, man.
You're also. I know this is reversed on stream, but not for you. You're also friends with somebody that actually has an ownership stake in that
That's
team.
true. You do have Actually, I'm friends with multiple people that have ownership stakes in the Packers. I did not play football with him, AJ. I played pickup basketball with him instead. He didn't feel that much taller than me, I will admit. He felt a lot more athletic than me, though.
Well, you're 6'4", so you're pretty tall anyway.
I'd say 6'4" is like average at this point.
Then I'm fucking
Ryan,
short
you
as
not
fuck
comment?
then. as a 5 foot. As a 5'9" individual, I'm short then.
Wait, AJ, how tall are you? You're what, 6 foot? Okay. No, man, it's like being an athlete and being in the athletic training program at Iowa State. Like, I used to hang around Hakeem Butler. Hakeem Butler made me feel short, and he's 6'6". Like, I felt like I towered over Montgomery. He's what, 5'8"?
I know. I remember you telling me the story of how you felt his chest at Seasons Dining Hall.
I'm embarrassed about that story.
We'll save that story for another time. So you got Bills Packers. We'll save your Super Bowl prediction for later because the Super Bowl's in 2 weeks after this. So Ryan,
3 weeks. I think it's 3.
It's like this week, and then I don't know if there's actually going to be a Pro Bowl. I don't know what's up. I haven't cared about the Pro Bowl since like 2008. So
I think it's a break.
So I don't know.
I think it's a break because they're just doing an online Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl's a joke anyway. It's been a joke ever since they moved it before the Super Bowl. So that way,
Ryan's holding up 3. He's frozen, and he's holding up 3. So I'm going to assume it's 3 weeks.
Yeah, let me pull up because it's February 7th, I think. So it's like this week. Yeah, 3 weeks. It's in 3 Sundays. So we'll be back at it with another episode before then. So Ryan, then I pose the same question to you. Who do you got in the Super Bowl?
Hopefully you guys can hear me when I say this.
Gotcha.
I would definitely probably have the Bucks and the Chiefs. Did I do that right? I don't really know a ton about the playoff stuff.
Yeah. So the 2 teams in the AFC are the Chiefs and the Bills, and then on the NFC side, it's the Buccaneers and the Packers.
That's like the opposite of me. So it's not safe.
It's hard to bet against.
I agree there. I do agree there. So that's why you're picking the Bucks, but why the Chiefs?
I mean, honestly, just that offense from what I've seen so far, it's too hard to combat that, in my opinion.
You like having the team that the team that has a quarterback that got blown out by Iowa State, that got put like 66 points against them, right? Or something like that.
I mean, that's not why stupid good as a quarterback. So, I mean, I would like to see a Brady Mahomes showdown. I think that'd be kind of electric.
Don't forget that Mahomes started over Mayfield.
Yep. I always forget that Mayfield was actually at Tech. That was so crazy for me to think about.
Yeah. Lanning's sons. Double wide.
So you got an interesting take there by having the Chiefs and the Bucks, but I could see that. I legitimately can't see that happening. I don't know if you're a betting man, but I don't know what the line is on that.
Oh, Ryan's a big sports
I
better.
do like to bet from time to time.
I think the so I remember seeing I don't remember I was watching FS1 earlier today, and by earlier today I mean like 12 hours ago. The odds were for, and I think you have somebody at Around the Corner that actually does the odds. I don't remember who it is, but you guys do odds now.
The winning ass parlay.
Yeah. Over under for the AFC game was 54. So against the it was the Bills and the Chiefs was over under 54. That's I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to feel about that over under. And I think the
I honestly would bet the over.
You'd bet the over? That Chiefs defense would make me want to go for the over, because that Chiefs defense is bad. So that makes me think over too. And I think the Chiefs were either 3 or 3.5 point favorite. They were at a -3, -3 or -3.5.
It's all dependent on the whole line.
Yeah. So there was those odds on the AFC game. I don't remember about the NFC game. But
I want everybody to know that the Knicks won tonight against the Warriors, who beat the Lakers,
really,
the reigning champion Lakers.
What is going on with basketball? What's going on with basketball today? Jeez.
The Knicks are so bad they may or may not beat your team on any given night.
What is going on with basketball? What is?
The Knicks might be so bad they might be good.
Yeah, the Knicks might accidentally win a championship.
They were trying to tank. But they win the championship during a tank season.
Dude, AJ, appreciate you showing up tonight, man. Love you, man.
Yeah, thanks for
Fuck yeah, go Knicks, face the fuck up, brother. But anyway, we're 2 hours in, guys.
AJ.
Wales before hose, all day, every day. But we are 2 hours in, everybody. I hate to do this to Jason since he typically runs the live shows. I typically run the backlog.
Take it whatever, because this is your guest, and so you would know Ryan better than me. So and
we all know Jason's picks. He's going Chiefs Packers.
No, actually.
Oh, Bills Packers.
I'm going Bills Packers, and I think the Bills will actually beat the Packers.
Oh, shit.
I am actually picking against my own team. I am picking against my own team because I actually do think that the Bills have a legitimate shot at beating the Packers.
Dude, mad respect. And next week, it's going to be sick because next week we're going to hear your reasoning behind all of what you said. And that'll be a pretty hot moment, I think.
That's if we remember, and if a chat holds me accountable if we both forget.
Oh, I'll hold you accountable. I'm going to make a note right now. Dude, it's been 2 hours. Ryan, we really appreciate you coming on. Jason, do you have any final words?
Just, again, thanks to Ryan for agreeing to do this, because I know you have your own podcast, and so going on somebody else's podcast might not be at the forefront of you, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. This is the first time I'm actually meeting you. But I've enjoyed having you on.
I enjoyed it.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. At least I appreciate it. I'm sure Finn does too. I was about to call Finn Ryan. Wow. Maybe that's time for me to go to night then after that. After driving however many.
It's a Counter-Strike tonight, right?
Oh, you're gonna kill me tonight if you do see
new missions. Let's do Guardians.
Oh God, I need to sleep, man. But I mean, look, my hair is a mess because I've been wearing a stocking cap for 12 hours or so. So, but no, just thanks to Ryan, and you have go follow him at the other Ryan S. That's his personal Twitter account, and also Around the Corn on Twitter.
That's my Twitter account.
I think Around the Corn is Around the Corn Pod, right?
Yep.
At Around the Corn Pod, and I think you have a website now, don't you?
Yep, that's Twitter.
We do. AroundTheCorn.com.
Around the Corn.
We do. We have a blog at AroundTheCorn.com.
So it's just AroundTheCorn.com and not Around the Corn Pod.
It's actually AroundTheCornPod.com. Somebody actually, I think the site for just Around the Corn was actually it actually cost more for that than the route that we went. So it was cheaper for us to go AroundTheCornPod.com than it was Around the Corn. So
that's fair.
It's like, well, after now, that's what our handle is.
So it's AroundTheCorn.com. I want to make sure I'm just getting this correct.
Around the Corn Pod.
Around the Corn Pod.
AroundTheCornPod.com. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop this in chat for whoever's still here. But also, if anybody's watching the YouTube video upload later, the archive, it is AroundTheCornPod.com. So, and
all links in the description below.
Yes, we will have that link. We will have links to Twitter, appropriate Twitter accounts. We have our own Twitter now. Yes.
So, Ryan, if we can understand you, if we can hear you, we would like to hear your final thoughts on tonight.
My final thoughts. So, hopefully everybody can hear me as they give them, because I'm filled with tons of knowledge and everything like that. I don't know. I guess I was excited to be on here. I had a good time tonight, guys. Obviously, I want to come back whenever you need me to. Love helping other guys out and gassing up their pods and trying to just make a little space for everybody out here and all this.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you for being patient with me as I traveled back to Ames to go live.
Not your fault, man.
Dude, I've gotten pissed at Ryan multiple times for tweeting out my shit from the main about our podcast. I was like, fuck, Ryan. No, fuck.
Hey, you guys know.
Dude, Ryan, one of the ultimate hype men. Even when I wasn't with Around the Corn. Was liking some of my stuff. Obviously can't forget. Dude, that was a good one.
Oh man.
Dude, I obviously can't forget my my main man. He's not gonna see this, but I don't give a shit. I can't forget my main man, Greg Mackey. Ultimate cheerleader that I've got. Dude's constantly trying to get me to pick fights. Love him. But my final thoughts, gotta start out with
Mac, baby.
Dude, my final thoughts, I have to start out with Finn's anime of the week. Ryan, I know you're not a big anime guy, and that's fine. But I got into it about a year-ish ago. 7 months would be more accurate. And God, what's one that I haven't reviewed yet? Have I reviewed The Promised Neverland yet?
I believe you have.
Damn. Have I? I know one that I haven't reviewed. Love. I believe it's pronounced Chunibyo.
This is one thing that we do need to have an organization about. Is what
I
animes,
have to
what
figure
animes
this
have
shit
you
out,
talked
man.
about?
Yeah, because I've got so many. But Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions is an incredibly good anime, in my opinion. It currently has 2 seasons, aired, I believe, 2013 and 2014. It has 2 movies. One that happens from a completely different perspective, basically glossing over the first season from somebody else's perspective, and one that came out in 2014. Or not 2014, 2018, which is a...
You're pulling me, man. You're pulling a meme by getting the date way off.
Yeah, no, hey, man, at least I didn't say it's December 6th.
Yes.
But it's a series that I believe that everybody can relate to, because at least at some point in everybody's life, they've been extremely fucking cringy. Chunibyo is when you're just like, you have that childish imagination that comes up with these crazy situations, crazy scenarios. You believe in magic. You believe in your ability to do incredible things through supernatural means. And a girl who suffers from Chunibyo moves in next to a guy who is a recently recovered person who suffered from that. He chose a high school that was miles away from his old middle school, so that way nobody that went to that school would remember him and bring that up. He meets her. Crazy antics ensue. This girl's sister, whom she lives with, is really, really good at throwing a ladle, like a metal ladle for soup. It's wild. She's a professional chef. She ends up moving to Italy in the second season. They're dating, these two kids. They live together because plot holes, I guess, in shitty writing. Everything's cringy as hell. I related to it a lot because I'm like, man, that's definitely me. That's probably still me, if I'm going to be honest. When I'm really drunk, I watch Creed and Creed 2 and just imagine that I'm a boxer.
Oh, no.
And the movie Take On Me is super good. The OVA is what it would be called, technically, where you see it from the girl's perspective, is incredibly good. And overall, I would definitely recommend the series. The ending sequence for the second season, super cringy, because they show all of the girls in the series like naked, covering themselves, and I'm like, fuck, I don't need to see that. Japan's fucking weird. But highly recommend the show to our one viewer, which is me. Hell yeah.
What was the anime called again?
The anime is called Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions. You can find it on verve.co for $10 a month, or you can find it on crunchyroll.com for, I believe it's $8 a month. Also on High Dive. So, with that, it's time to end this week's episode. 2 hours, 10 minutes. It's been an absolute pleasure, Ryan. Honestly, don't know how you've put up with me for this long, let alone for months on end. And with that, we love you all. Pleasure's all ours, Ryan. But with that, we love you all. Every single person that's watched on twitch.tv/crunchbar33. Everybody that's watched on youtube.com/whatever the fuck this channel's called.
There's a lot of letters. There's just the YouTube link is just a bunch of letters because I haven't customized the link.
And most importantly, stay safe, mask up, get the vaccine if you can, and roll clones.
And roll credits.